And welcome back. Thanks for joining us again today. And I am Rolando, and my co-host over here on my left is Dave.
Hi.
Hey, Dave, I'm excited about today. Not just because it's Friday when we're rolling live, but also because we're going to do some things that we haven't done in the past.
Mm,
We're actually going to also we've based on a bunch of comments that we got through the week from the last one. We're going to also roll the footage from that dunk test that we did last time. People want to know if that
that's right.
headset actually still works. And
Oh,
by the way, I have it and I still can use it. I don't know if you can see it, but it still has water stains on it, and I've used it a few times, so it's still functional. And for those that didn't get to see it, we're going to have a chance for us to roll that. So go ahead, Ori. Why don't you go ahead and roll what we did last time?
We're going to take this bad boy that I'm wearing and I'm going to put it right into this guy right here. So here we go.
all right. Whoa.
Dave, you hear me? I hear you. Go ahead.
So the microphone volume seems a little bit low. It might just be because it's damp.
Yeah, it's still damp, but it's still working. All
Can
right.
they wear it in the shower? I that so who knows?
Now, I I would say it worked in the shower. I don't know. I don't want to put anybody at risk if you don't need to, but it should. The other thing that we didn't do, and I don't happen to have, is a freezer test. A lot of folks that are using this in a cold environment, this microphone is rated to go into very cold environments and still work, as well as the water test that we did with dunking it. So I don't know. Showers, you're kind of on your own. I haven't tried it, so I can't give it my blessing at this point.
Wow.
That
Wow.
was a good test.
It was cool. I was wet for a while because of having splashed myself and whatnot. But it was all in fun. I really I like doing those kind of things. Are these manufacturers really telling us the truth? Do these products actually do what they're intended to do? I can't, so can we got to put them to the test, right? So we'll
That's
put it
right.
right in, put it right in like they say. Okay, it's supposed to be waterproof. Let's see if it's waterproof. If it's not waterproof, then it won't work. But in this case, the B550 did exactly what it was supposed to do, which was the components stayed dry, which it didn't fry, and we didn't get any static. I actually was listening to you clear. And then at first it was a little wet. The microphone was still wet, but once
Right.
I kept talking, it just now that I see the playback, it looks like the audio went right back to normal.
So you've used that headset since?
Yes, I have. I've used that headset. It's my go-to headset if I'm in the car,
Yeah,
especially because
same.
the ability. And I think what we're gonna do, and probably in some future tests, what we should do is demo this in the car with road noise,
Yep.
so that people could actually see what it looks like when you use this making calls. You can also hear the performance. So that's probably one to keep in mind for next time.
So we should do a road test. And
Yep.
in the demo, you had mentioned something about like cold weather. I know
Oh,
where I am, there will be some very cold weather coming our way. So we should probably kind of put it to that test as well.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And maybe once it gets to the winter time, we should we should probably. I know you're where you're at. You're near Boston, so you probably get snow and whatnot way before we do here in DC. But we could probably test that out once we get to the harsher winter months.
Hmm. Yeah, I have a feeling it will hold up. I definitely have a feeling it'll hold
Yeah,
up.
it should. Maybe we should throw it in the snow.
I will throw yours in the snow.
Well, let's remind the folks as well that we are coming to you live on Amazon. So you have the ability, if you're watching us right now through Amazon, you can see the products that we're going to be talking about today featured right below my
Yep.
name. We're also streaming to YouTube and Facebook. So for you wonderful folks that are joining us through there, you also get to see the video and audio. And if you find the products interesting and you have a question, feel free to hit us up on chat. We'll be live to respond to you. And if you have something that's got to do with what we're talking about or something else that's relevant, feel free to shout us out or let us know where you're tuning in from today. If
Yeah.
you're tuning in from the U.S. or Boston, D.C., the West Coast, or somewhere else, let us know and we'll give you a shout out as well.
And if you're unable to engage with us live today, maybe if you're watching this after the event, you know what? Our phone number is out there. Our website is out there. Please give us a call. Send us a chat live if it's if you're looking for some advice on some solutions. We're here and we're taking calls.
And well, it we'll be. Let's jump right into it with that. So let's go right into the trivia question for today. Okay, so go ahead, Ori, roll that so we can. All right. So there are tons of headsets out there in the world, and some of you may know this, some of you may not know. What is the parent company of Blue Parrot and Jabra? Stay tuned. At the end, we'll reveal who that is, what company that is, and how they got to um, having those brands there. So let's go right into the rest of the show, Dave. So we're going to talk today about the new line of headsets that Jabra rolled out just recently,
Yeah.
and so that's the Evolve 2 series of headsets. These
And
headset. Go
and
ahead.
Rolando, and for the viewers, Rolando, I'm looking forward to some of these demos today. I've not actually had this particular product in my hands yet, so I just want to be completely honest. So I'm looking forward to your feedback and the demos here.
Right. So we'll have some actual live demos. We won't be doing a dunk test like last week, but we will be putting it to some rather unusual test here, and we'll roll that towards the middle and end of the show and show folks and share with them what I've found with using those new headsets. So the Evolve 2 series consists of the Evolve 40, Evolve 60. Let me back up. Evolve 2. I got to get used to that terminology. The
Yep.
Evolve 2, which is the follow-on to the Evolve. So Evolve 2, 40, 65, and 85. And behind me, I have the headsets, and I'm going to bring those out here in a second. But the this line of headsets it's a vast improvement over the current Evolve line. Now, there is nothing wrong with the current Evolve line. We sell those, we offer those on Amazon and everywhere else, and they have made some vast improvements here that I think many users will find quite usable. And some of those are in the product demonstrations. But I just want to pull out one of the ones that we have here, or if we could roll to the shot of the bring up the Evolve 65 here, just so start queuing it up in a moment. I'm going to take this out of the box. This is the Evolve 265. It comes in two colors. It comes in black and it comes in beige. So if you happen to be one of those persons that likes to make a statement with what you wear, albeit you probably be wearing most of this at home, the Evolve 2 in the beige will certainly do that for you. So what I've got here, and you can roll the footage as well. If we could throw that to footage, and I can come back to the product, and we could talk about it too. So the Evolve 265, Dave, I think they nailed it here with the design. I think they did a really good job in also the comfort. It's very comfortable to wear. The intuitive nature of this boom is something that I really like because
Mm.
unlike other headsets, this headset allows you to mute yourself by simply moving it up and down, moving that boom up and down. It's designed to be Bluetooth, so you can use it with your laptop. You could use it with your mobile device. It's got a very comfortable speakers that are on there, much more comfortable than others. And don't be fooled by the lightweight nature of this, that it's either cheap or it's not heavy enough. I think when you're wearing something all day, go back to the or if you go roll back to the ear cups there for a second. Yeah, right there. So what you're actually looking at is the speakers on this thing, and you're getting a lot of volume out of these speakers, which is different than a lot of other headsets in this class. And you're getting also a sound that you probably haven't gotten before out of the Evolve 2 series. So I would say they did a really good job when it came to design. Also, the fit of these ear cups are now designed in a way so that they're channeled more into the ear The padding is nice and soft, so it rests easier. Actually, what I'm using is a Sennheiser, and this Jabra Evolve 2 is certainly more comfortable than that. As you can see, the speakers on that, I'm gonna try to do my best attempt at Vanna White here. You see that these speakers are bigger,
Yep.
so it's gonna block out more of that environmental noise around me. Just by putting on a larger ear cup. So I'm gonna be hearing more sound than not. Um, Go ahead, Dave.
So yeah, so I'm very familiar with the Jabra Evolve. I don't want to call it the Evolve One, but the Jabra Evolve, which is still very popular. Um, I don't think the Evolve 2 is set to replace this product. It's just an alternative. But I do notice certainly those speakers, the shape, the contour kind of nature of that speaker is different. The Jabra Evolve series, the 20, the 40, the 65, the 75, the 80, 85, those are all perfectly circular. So that's a big differentiator between the Evolve and the Evolve 2.
Yeah, the Evolve 2's on the ear cup is more oval,
Yeah,
so it's designed to just fit over your ear a lot better. If ears aren't perfectly round, they're more oval in shape. So having an oval design will certainly offer that. Now, what you're looking at is the mono version. And Dave, do we have this one also featured
yep, we
on our? Okay, so it's on.
yep
If you're
we
on
do.
Amazon, we have it on our carousel, and you'll see it right below the screen there, and you could certainly check that out. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, we'll be posting links to this on the recorded version of this playback. So yes, getting back to the ear cups, wonderful. They fit on your ear much more comfortably. The boom allows you to mute and unmute by easily and you get a prompt. That's the other thing. It tells you when you've muted rather than it just muting. So you
Right.
know when to talk, when not to talk.
That was my question to you. You know, as a user, when you throw on the mute, it's nice to get that feedback from the headset that's telling you that you're muted. A lot of times when you're flipping it up, it's an emergency situation. It might just be something as just simple background noise. Perhaps you have to cough, perhaps you have to sneeze. You don't want to put that into the call. So I like the feature that it does give you that feedback so that you're confident once you've flipped it up that you can make your noise and it's not going to pass through to the call. So I'm glad that they did that with that feature. Very smart.
So let's talk also about what the 65, because we got three models that they've launched. They've launched the 40, they've launched the 65, which I have in my hand, and I also have the 65 in the stereo version here in my other hand. So we've got the 65 mono, we got the 65 um, stereo version, and what I think is we should just let folks know because there's a lot of folks that tune in that are new to headsets, new to hands-free, new to working
Sure.
from home. Why should they pick up the 65 versus the 40? So let's tell people why, if maybe you're a first-time user, why this particular model may be more appropriate for you than, let's say, the 40 or the 85.
So with the 65, you know what they do offer, like you had said, Rolando, they have that single ear or that double ear. And I think what people really want to consider is their own work environment and the the importance of communicating with people around you in your area. I think a lot of folks that go with a binaural or with a stereo style headset, they really don't want to interact with the people around them at all. It's not necessarily about staying focused or blocking out background noise. It's just they prefer that style. They don't need to talk to Sally or Jeff. They don't need to interact with other people in their environment. So, for folks that do need to collaborate, they do talk to coworkers during the course of the day. They don't necessarily want to take their headset on and off. A single ear headset probably makes more sense for them.
Oh, interesting, interesting. So the on the so I've got the 65, and I really also like the fact that on the stereo, it does give you a little bit more peace of mind that even if you don't have a lot of distraction around you, you do have ability to focus just a little bit more or than not. And also the 65 from a user perspective. So let's say I'm somebody that is on Zoom or on other online meetings or have to talk to people. Uh, I would say that for folks that do this on a more regular basis, the 65 versus the 40, which we'll get to in a moment, probably makes the most sense. Would you say,
Mm.
Dave?
Yeah. Yep. I would certainly say so. Keep in mind that you do have that option to have the Bluetooth wireless feature within the
On
65.
the 60, that's true. That's true. So the 65, so you are stepping up. So that's the other thing. Yeah. So the 40 is going to be your more economical version, and I think the way Jabra has set this up so that the lower numbers are cheaper. So 40 is going to be their entry level model.
Yep.
The 65 is going to be the mid range model, and the 85, which we'll get to in a moment, that's their premium model on the new Evolve 2 series. And so if you're trying to stay within the budget, I think you're going to find all three will do the job. It's just as you move up the line up to 85, you have more features, you have more things that you can do with the headset versus let's say on the 40 you have a basic headset. And if that's all you need, that's going to do the job. You're going to get really good performance. You're going to get a good audio quality, and you're going to get something that's going to be comfortable to wear on all three.
And what the other thing that Jabra's done here, so they give you the options: single ear, stereo style, corded, wireless with very big speakers, wireless with medium-sized speakers. But one thing that they're doing that no one else is doing in the industry is adding this other color option. Headsets have always been either black or silver or kind of a polished gray. In the industry, I've never seen this option, which is nice. You know what? If everybody drove black cars, it'd be pretty boring in life. Yeah, so the beige looks pretty good.
Now I can't hear you because I put my headset down,
Yep.
but it's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a good headset. It's a good size, and you find that to be comfortable. Oh.
I didn't hear a word you were saying. I was
Uh,
just looking at the monitor and looking at you, so I was
So
trying to
it
read
it,
your
it
lips.
it looks like it fits well. My question was the comfort. What do you think about the comfort?
It's really good. It's very lightweight. The headband is very flexible. So I
Yep.
know that the last segment we were talking about big noggins. So if you have big noggins, you can see it stretches, it flexes. So it has the ability to accommodate that. From an actual just weight perspective, I think it's for an all-day user, this is good.
Mm,
You can manage with a headset that like this, that especially on the ears. The number one reason, the two big reasons people complain about headsets, if you're using them all day now, let's say 6 to 8 hours a day, it's your primary function is to talk and listen to people. If you're doing that, then either the headband will wear you out or the ear cup
yeah,
portion will be too much on your head after a while. And I think they've nailed it here, or the ear cups, because to me that's the one of the biggest reasons why, for me, some headsets are not as good as others. They may
sure.
have just as good quality, but if I can't put it on my head for an entire day, then we've got problems.
Yeah,
NASA, we got problems. And this one does a good job of that. So
yeah.
I give it a really good high rating. You know, what we got to do, Dave, is actually come out with our own global tech rating on headsets. I don't know, it's either letters or numbers, and I just dropped the case that I wanted to show you. So it comes in this nice leather looking case. All right, it says Jabra on it, and it also comes with it comes with and I had taken it already out of the box. So it comes in with a USB uh, charger, and it comes in. Oh, we're going to get to this in a moment. The USB A versus C. That's actually quite important, and it comes with a dongle. And this is the USB-C version. It's a really tiny dongle, and I want to just show this to our audience that the dongles are now inside the pouch. They used to be shipped separate or put in a separate case. They're in there, and for some folks, we've gotten feedback from them that they don't know, they haven't seen where the dongle is. It's right in included in there. Okay, so that's the Evolve 65. So Dave, let's jump into the Evolve 40.
Okay.
This is the entry level model. And we're gonna let's you know what? Let's have Ori roll. We have footage of the 40. Here we go.
So I am highlighting the 40 down below. The one that we're showcasing is the binaural or the stereo version black, but again, just so the users understand that this is available in black or beige, single ear, or double
Can,
ears. So really,
Ori,
whatever preference you have.
can can you roll it back to the shot of it being worn on the head? A little bit more forward, probably like 20 seconds something in. Yeah, a little bit more. There we go, right there. Freeze it. So as you can see, the 65 and the 45 look very similar. They have a very similar style. The difference here, like Dave was saying earlier, is that on the 40 you have a corded headset, and that's the if you're on a budget and you want a good headset and don't really need to be moving around like right now I'm not corded, I'm not tied to anything, I can move around, then the wireless is your choice. If not, the 40, which is the corded version, that one works as well. And there are a lot of budget conscious folks, whether you're an organization that has lots of people and you're trying to get these out to a large number of folks that are in, and I don't know right now who's all congregated in one space, but if you have maybe a large organization that even if they're spread out, the 40 is a very good choice. Now in the video here, you do see those red light indicators. If you could stop it there, Ori, or what you see is these indicators let folks know, and obviously these videos were shot pre-corona, where you may have coworkers around you in an open office environment. Those red light indicators let people know that you're on the call, and that's the only time, or you're on a webinar. You could see that as soon as the boom came down, that red light came on. So that lets people know,
Yeah,
hey,
that's
I'm on the
nice.
call, and leave me alone. Don't
Hey,
bother me.
I have a question for you. So, um, online indicators always a smart tool. You want to let your coworkers know that you're busy. Did you tell me yesterday that they actually have an indicator on the back of the speaker as well? So the video shows it kind of right here in the front, but I think is there a light on the back of it as well?
I don't think so. It may be on the 85. We're going to see
Okay.
the 85 in a moment, but as you can see the you know what? Let me do this. No
Yep.
need
Oh,
to.
right there. Yeah. Ori, go back just a hair. So you see it in the front. You have an open work environment, so
There
the
you go. You're
people in the
right.
front and the people in the
In the back.
back.
You're
That's
right.
nice. I know we've all been in that situation where you're busy, you're looking at your computer, maybe you work in a cubicle environment, and your coworker's behind you tapping on your shoulder. Hey Rolando. Hey Rolando, I want to show
Yes.
you something funny.
Right.
And this is kind of like a come on, like you can now you don't have to turn around, you don't have to point to a light, you don't have to point to your screen, just point to your head. Be like this means stop.
Right. And so like you're wearing the Evolve 40,
Yep.
right? You have the actually you have the previous model to the actual Evolve 2 version that we're showing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on that one you have an indicator on the side, no?
I believe so.
I,
You
I
know
know
what?
it's on the 65. Maybe they didn't incorporate it into the 40. I know
You
it's
know
on
what?
this the
Yeah, they
previous
didn't.
65.
Yeah, they didn't incorporate it into this. Jabra does make like online indicator accessories that they can strap to their desks and things like that. But yeah, they evolved the headset and
I,
brought some of these newer features even into the corded line. So that was smart for them.
yeah, so you're wearing the first, we'll call it the first generation Evolve. It's
Yeah.
probably easier to talk about. And then the new generation is the one that we just featured on there. And we have those Evolve 240. We have the 40 in beige and black. And we have those featured right now on the carousel if you happen to be watching with us on Amazon Live. So let's jump in now. What I'd like to do, Dave, is let's jump into the last one. We'll talk about the Evolve 85, and then we'll get into the product demonstrations.
Okay.
I've got the E85. Where'd it go? So the 85 comes in this case. So in this nice black case, it says Jabra on the front. It's It's quite sturdy. So it's unlike the 65 where it's a soft leather case. This one is a harder case, so you can easily put it in your bag. You could throw it in the car. If you happen to be traveling, it's easy to take. It's got a handle on it, so you can
Wow.
have it in your hand. So they did some things that are worthy of the price because this is not the cheapest pair of headphones that are out there. But they certainly will do a really good job of audio. So one of the things I found interesting is how they incorporated some things that were probably only available in other lines that were just like your Beats audio or maybe your Bose, and they incorporated that along with their microphone technology. You can roll the footage, Ori. We can talk about it. So on this, you got so many things that they threw in the kitchen sink on this one. And you'll get to see some of that as we do the product demonstration. So you've got some oversized headphones that are extremely comfortable, the ear cups as well. And on this one, they flexed. This one has a boom that is a boom that tucks away. So stop right there, Ori. You get this boom, and this is one of the things that I really like about this. You can wear it as the headphones without the boom, and it won't be in the way. And then when you need to talk, you have a good high quality microphone to be available to you to actually engage and talk with folks on that are on the other line with you, whether you're on your mobile phone. And this one is a Bluetooth. The 85 is a Bluetooth, so it comes with a dongle, so you can use it with your PC. You can use it with your mobile, and it's also optimized for office usage, meaning that when you go on Zoom, when you go on Meets, when you go on Teams, if you're using Ring Central or any Fuse or any other application that's a business application that requires voice, the headphones will do the job. It will be able to, in some cases, depending on the app that you're using, can be integrated. It's got a very long battery, so you could use it practically all day, whether you're streaming music or other things. I find that this one is really good, especially for people that maybe you're working from home and it's kind of noisy around you. Maybe you're home with the kids, or maybe your other loved one is also working from home, and you don't have the ability to close a door, being in a room
Yeah.
where the distractions. So the size of these headphones, in terms of the speakers and the ear cups, they get to cover your ear so that it seals out the noise. In addition to that, and actually on the headphones I have, my 2-year-old took my ear cups. This is a private, so anybody that has a 2-year-old or 3-year-old or a young one can relate. Toys, whether they're expensive toys or $2 toys, your little one doesn't care.
Hey, you mentioned the microphone. You mentioned how that microphone kind of snuck away. Can you give me a visual on that, Rolando?
So I'm gonna take this headset off for a moment while I do that.
Okay. Yeah, so that thing is nice. I prefer a large headset like that. All right, so there's the boom down. Yep, we can see that. And then when you put it up, let's see where that goes. Oh, wow. Wow. I'll tell you, very, very slick. That's cool. I like
So
that. That they did a really good job with that.
so they combined, and I think and you know this, we've been around for a while doing this. I've talked to so many customers that have said, I want to use, and I'll just pick two of them just because this is the question that has always come up. I want to use my Beats with my at my office, but it doesn't work. Do you have anything that can make it work? I would like to use my Bose headphones. How can I make that work? And the answer a lot of times is you can, because a lot of business applications require a micro, not only a microphone, but a headset or a headphone that is designed to be used in such a way where you're using the headphone functionality. You need to process voice going in and out of it. And Jabra took a lot of that feedback from what customers kept saying they wanted in terms of a headset and headphones, and combined it with their microphone technology so that you get outstanding quality when you're engaging with somebody online or when you're talking to them on your mobile phone for any kind of call for that matter.
Mm. It's like what do they say? Kill two birds with one stone, and this headset certainly did that.
Right.
People will, folks invest good money in headphones to listen to music, and here that investment now goes into your business day.
Right, and
So
that's probably the right word. Is this is an investment because it's not the cheapest headset they have. This is their premium headset, and I think you'll find from a quality standpoint, you get that with the build there. You get not only the ability to flip the boom, just like you saw me do, but you also get the ability to have active noise canceling. So it's now on par from a usage and functionality to what those other headsets that were just headphones
right,
had. That
right.
active noise canceling, so you can actually filter out the noise, not just with the ear cups, but the active noise canceling. It's filtering out that background noise, so it's less of a problem for you. And I would say if you're somebody that's saying, "Well, geez, this is quite a bit of money," but if you're looking for a quality headset that really can be on your ear for hours at a time, as well as take you away from the distractions. Because distractions, and I know there's a couple studies out there that say it takes about 15 to 20 minutes if you have a distraction through the day. I'm working and all of a sudden maybe the dog's barking, or I'm working and my because I'm at home, maybe my spouse is, she's on a conference call, or he's on a conference call, and that's distracting. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes for you to reset and come back to that task in a way that you're back into the concentration zone and being able to get that done. So something like this is definitely worth the money if that's where you happen to be in terms of your work environment. So go ahead. You were going to say something, Dave?
Yeah, you were talking about an investment. The product, these these headsets from Jabra have the ability to upgrade the firmware. So I just wanted to throw that back over to you. I think we had learned something new about firmware upgrades, but can you talk about like the kind of the future proofing of the
So
technology?
so this is the important thing. If you had an older style headset, you probably got for 50, $60, even $100. If the technology advanced and there were new types of ways of using that headset with more apps and programs, you're stuck with that headset forever until you get the next one that's available to be able to be used in that way. These three, all three of them, have the ability to be upgraded. So if there was a new phone system that's available on your computer, and later that phone system can be integrated with Jabra, it will have the ability to be upgraded. It's at no cost. There's a Jabra app on the App Store, whether you're using Android or you're using iOS. And if you happen to be a manager of a larger organization, or folks that are working in multiple locations, there is a software that allows you to push those updates. There's an enterprise management software available that Jabra has specifically for businesses that need the ability to make sure that workers have essentially uniform standards across the board, so that there are no issues, or very little issues. In the, let's call it the dark days of headsets, you had no visibility into what's happening. So with this enterprise management software, you have the ability to see where the problems are at. Oh yeah, user A is having an issue and the audio is not working very well. So you can continue doing what you need to do from, if you're an IT manager or somebody that's managing a group of people, and make sure that you can get those issues under control much more easily. You can deploy your other applications much more quickly without having to go through a long, drawn-out process of testing different headsets. This one makes it just that much easier, so there's less to worry about.
So
Now,
essentially, it's an IP endpoint on the network. They can be viewed, they can be managed, and that's smart. That's smart for the enterprise for sure. Especially now, you know what? When folks are working from home, it's still important for that IT team to be able to see and manage these endpoint devices. And here they can do troubleshooting, push endpoints. They don't have to go to people's desks to fix things. There's a lot of things that they can see just from their
and even
office.
And even now, just think about it. Most, if you were an IT manager a year ago, and most people were at their desk, you would walk over to the desk and
Yeah.
maybe look around or whatever and troubleshoot. Those people, for the most part, if you were in an office, they're probably gone. They're probably gone and working from home right now. So you don't have that physical visibility into that headset like you did, let's say 9 months ago or a year ago. This software gives you that ability to make sure that your users are doing what they need to do to get the job done.
Pretty impressive.
It is. Uh, so one other thing that you mentioned upgrades. I think it's also a good segue into talking about. And Ori, do we have that slide with USB-A, USB-C? I think a lot of folks. This is something that we constantly get questions on that I think is worth pointing out. So there are two types of USB standards. There's USB-A and USB-C. The Evolve 2, the entire line comes in both versions, A and C, so that you can plug it in right into your PC or Mac or laptop. Now, the C standard is a newer standard, and manufacturers are migrating over to that. You will find the C standard it's similar to what the newer line of like iPhones, so it's that kind of style of USB connector. Uh, so when you're ordering this, make sure you know your equipment if you're going to be plugging it into a PC. You have an A version or a C version, and on our listing. So if you happen to be on our Amazon site or you go to our product pages with it, you will see that we clearly have USB-A and USB-C, so you're getting the right product for your application.
And
And
have no fear. And have no fear if you've ordered the wrong product because of the USB A or USB C. You don't have to return anything. These adapters are out there to convert them from one to the other,
mm,
and they're pennies. They're cheap, and I have a feeling that we'll
I've got
all
one right
be
here.
wanting to have some of these extra
Right.
extra
So this
accessories.
Absolutely. So you can take the USB-C. In this case, I've got a USB-C version here from the beige Jabra, and you plug it right in to this adapter. Boom. And I've used this on several different devices. So if you happen to make that mistake, like you're saying, Dave, this is a $5
Yeah, if not.
device that
Yeah,
in your set you're good. You don't lose any quality when you use this adapter. You don't lose any functionality. You're all set and your problem solved. You don't need to um, think that you've gotten a bum headset. You just need
right.
an adapter and you're all set. You were
I,
saying something, Dave?
yeah, I do have a question about the Evolve 2 85 in the bag. You had highlighted with the Evolve 2 65 that the dongle was in a small pouch.
Hmm.
Where is the dongle within that case?
So I'm going to unzip this case for you. And it's in there. Oh, no, and I zipped it. Let me unzip it now. It's in there. Now, this one is actually tucked away a little bit more, and these are some of the accessories that come with. Let me move those out of the way. Actually, let me show these to you. It comes with this accessory. Typically, is one of the ones that you would use on travel when you're on in an airplane, so you can
Yep.
plug it in. So that dual prong. You have a USB charging cable and you have a 3.5 cable. So you can there actually, so there it is. You have a 3.5, so you can plug that
Ah.
in.
So
You
you
plug
can
that.
use that. So you can use that corded or Bluetooth.
Yes, you can use
Very
it.
nice.
And that 3.5, you would be plugging it into here as your interface into here if you're using an airplane. Now, this is the only, if we're going to be critical, I find that this is a little bit short if you're going to be maybe not on a plane because you're probably stuck for a couple of hours. But if you wanted to use a 3.5 that's longer, that probably would be better suited than this. This is not that long.
Right.
So if you're on a plane, this is plenty of length. But if you're going to be using it for any extended period of time, you probably want to go with something a little longer than this. It'll make your life a little easier.
Yeah.
And while we're on that topic, one thing that I have found from playing around with these is if you're going to use this on a PC and you're using the dongle. Oh wait, I forgot to show you the dongle. That's for the whole thing, right? That was your question. So where's the dongle here? The dongle is right next to this little flap. I'm gonna pull it out of here, inside the here there's this little like flap, and right in
Okay.
here is where the dongle is tucked away. And this is where folks have said, well, I don't can't find it, I can't see it, where is it? It's right in this flap. And since these things are so small now, and look, you can't even see it, but inside there, inside here is the dongle for this guy. Let me pull it out of there. You can see.
Yep, I see it.
It's a very small dongle. Um, the mobile app for all of these, so the Jabra mobile app, will allow you to push upgrades to it. So if you have a version that requires an update, and we've found in talking to other customers, or maybe they had some issues connecting, or it wasn't switching between mobile and PC, usually an update would take care of that problem, so that you don't have to worry about getting stuck with something that's buggy or whatever. And quite frankly, if you're in the IT world, you're used to having updates. Things get updated, new things happen. iOS 15 comes out, and all of a sudden something in that iOS 15 doesn't work with the Jabra headset or other headset, and now the manufacturer pushes out an update, and then boom, you're all set to go. So updates, don't worry about that. You're covered on the Jabra app. So Dave, let's jump into those demos.
All right.
Now we've got some really interesting demos for you today. We're gonna go through and show you the 65, and we're gonna show you the 85. And what I'm basically doing here is testing this in home as if you probably would use it yourself. So we're going to first roll through the 65. We've got a few different tests. We're going to do a keyboard test. We're going to do a music test and a drink test. So where you actually try to drink something using the headset, which most people do. I mean, I've been doing that the whole time we've been on. I just try to drink and here I have tea. And some headsets are just easier because you can either do this or that, or you can move it, or you can take it off. But I don't like taking the headset off. I try to leave it on. There you go. Exactly, with your Yeti. So let's go to that 65 footage. Hi there. We're going to do a test with the Jabra Evolve2 65. It's a wireless headset by Jabra. And here's what it looks like in the, well, if you have the box. Well, it's outside the box, but if you've got the box, this is what it looks like. And we're going to do a few tests. We're going to do a keyboard test. We're going to do a music test. We're also going to do a drink test. And we're also going to do a walk around loop-de-doo test to see how easy and how well it is to actually have it take a drink with this particular headset. So let's get started. So I've got Pandora that I'm going to be streaming onto my phone. You can also stream music to the headphones. So if you wanted to do that while you're working in between webinars or Zoom calls or whatever, you can stream it direct. I'm connected from between this device and the Bluetooth dongle that's connected to my MacBook right now, and that's what's receiving the audio. So let's turn this fire up the Pandora and get the test started. I'm going to set this off to the side, just trying to also simulate some background noise. All right, and we're back. So with the first test we want to do is just a simple keyboard test, and I'm going to go silent as well as talk to see what happens when I type on the keyboard. See if it's picking up some of that noise. All right, and when I type, I'm trying to see if it's picking up those keystrokes that I'm pushing through this keyboard. Okay, that's good enough. And we have some music playing off to my left here in the background. We'll see if that's picked up as well. All right. So okay, so right there, one of the things in looking at and actually listening to it, I really like the audio quality on that microphone. I was able to hear more of my voice. I heard a little bit of the keystrokes and a tiny bit of the music, but it wasn't disturbing. I know when I was wearing it, the noise there around you does bother you a little bit, but from the perspective of somebody that would be listening to you, the audio was quite clear.
Very good, very good. And what I was picking up on was you were talking. You don't have to talk loud for the microphone to pick you up and for you to sound perfect. It may have been a nighttime environment where you were. Perhaps you were trying to be kind of quiet,
Mm,
but that doesn't mean that the conversation is any less important.
right,
We could hear you. You sounded so well, and you didn't have to yell. So your
right.
environment, you were able to keep your environment quiet. And then the keyboard, yeah, I could tell that you were using it, but it certainly wasn't taking away from the conversation or the
Right.
message.
And the kicker here is that yes, you picked up on that. Yes, I was doing it at night, and if you have a young one like I do, what you're trying to do is not wake them up.
Always.
And so, and I, in listening to what you were just commenting about, I was curious to see what other people thought about that part of it because I wasn't, like right now it's daytime and there's things going on, and so it's okay you could be louder or whatever, but in nighttime, where a lot of folks that are working from home, sometimes you do work in the night hours, and you want to be able to, and sometimes you're either listening or even engaging. Maybe you work on the East Coast and you have coworkers that are on the West Coast, which is, in our case, yeah, we have workers on the West Coast and we have folks on the other side of the world. And when you're engaging with them, maybe you don't want to disturb everybody around you.
Mm,
And, if you have a little one, you certainly don't want them to wake you up and, get there and now you're off task for a while. And it did. The pickup on the microphone was quite good. And I was
yeah.
really impressed on the microphone pick up my voice even at that very low, softer tone versus everything else, the music that I had going on around me, as well as the keyboard. Now, we do have a little bit more of that because there was another piece to that test where we do the drink test and the walk around. So let's show the folks that. Now, before you roll that, Ori, if you happen to have headphones on or you have the ability to put this on the headphones, you're going to hear my voice as well as the other sounds much easier than if you're just playing it on your speakerphone if you've got your mobile or if you're just listening to it on your laptop. So if you have the ability, if you're watching this on the playback, pause and then put on your headphones, you're going to hear a lot more of the nuances in the voice and in the audio. So go ahead, Ori, roll that footage. And we are going to do a drink test. Quite often, sometimes the booms get in the way when you try to drink, and sometimes you don't want people to hear. So I'm going to. And fortunately for this headset, it has a wonderful feature that allows the boom as soon as you then and when you come back down, it brings the audio live back in, and it's also prompting you that you're muted. So you get a prompt telling you muted, unmuted. That way you know exactly when somebody's listening to what you're saying. So as far as this goes, this is pass. It's a passing grade for the drink test. Now we'll do a walk around test. In this test, what we want to do is see if it's picking up my my breath, my voice as I'm walking. Is it picking up any other wind or any other elements as I'm walking that would be disturbing to the user or actually to the person you're talking to? All right. So that's the walk around. Loop-de-doo test. Spinning around in a chair. Spinning, 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 spinning. All right, the loop-de-doo test. My 2-year-old would be proud. So we've done the drink test. It passes that. And now we've done the loop-de-doo test. And this should give you a good idea of what this microphone sounds like when you use the Jabra Evolve2 65 wireless headset.
Good demo. Good demo. I would actually call that the over caffeinated test because, as silly as it is, you know what? When you're going throughout the course of your day, things are happening. You're getting excited. Some people are very animated, spinning around
Mhm.
in your chair, getting your steps in. I mean, it's not as silly as I'm reacting to it. Like it was funny to watch,
Yeah,
funny to do. It sounded
yeah,
like you were
yeah.
muted. It sounded like you were muted.
That's
Didn't
the
hear
really cool
anything.
part. So the headset I have doesn't have that feature. So if I do this on this one, you can still hear
Yeah.
some audio. Even if I rotate it back,
Yep.
you're still not muted. You have to actually mute it, and it's down here below. And granted, this is a much older headset, so it's like not even first generation, half generation, right? Um, and that's the really cool part about the Evolve 2, that they've integrated that intelligent boom into the arm, so that
Hmm.
you go mute whether you're going up when you're going mute and then unmute, mute, unmute. It's just so cool to do that.
And you couldn't hear it. I've heard some headsets. They're, I guess, ratchety might be the word when you move the boom microphone. There's a little bit of friction, like on
Yep.
yours right there, and it doesn't steal from the conversation necessarily. But you know what? Every generation that we come into this industry, and these manufacturers are coming out with their latest and greatest. They are not just putting new plastic on old products. They must be using, some new materials because every one that Jabra comes out with for these, it's always an improvement over the last one. It's not just shiny different colors. There's a lot more to it.
Well, like you said, so on the materials, I'm glad you mentioned that because if you look at some of the feedback that we've seen on the comments from folks that have bought it, is that they feel like this is too light, which I would say, yes, that's what you want it to be. And because they're a lot of folks that are new to headsets may be coming to this type of office headset from a Beats or a Bose, which are heavier, and so therefore you're thinking maybe you're getting less or you're getting cheated or something's got to be wrong because it doesn't feel as heavy as those headsets. And there's others that are bigger and heavier as well. And it's just that you have a very different purpose with this type of headset. A
Mm,
business function that you are going to be using for hours at a time. And what you want, and for folks that are using things hour at a time, is something that's actually lighter. So the materials, like you said, they're made to bend and flex, and don't seem as heavy as some of the other headphones on the market because of that. The primary function is comfort, and comfort over several hours rather than just maybe and you can stream with this. You can listen to music. You can use it on your PC. You can use it on your mobile. And if you're going to be doing that, plus doing Zoom chats, plus talking to colleagues all day long, you definitely want to go with something lighter. Now, what you will notice on this version of the 65 that I'm holding in my hand is that again, these are not the ear cups that normally come with it, and there's a reason for that. Like I said, my 2-year-old got into my stash. That's what you kind of see right now behind me. It's kind of empty, so I emptied it out. That's normally where I keep my demos and stuff that we're testing. He got into it and decided to, take the leather cushions out of it. And I happen to have some extra cushions from a different headset that I put on there to do the test, and that allowed me to do the test. Otherwise, I'd have the bare plastic butting up on my ears. And that's also why you saw me wearing that cap. So
right.
that it
Oh,
gave me a
okay.
little bit of padding there so I could do the test and not have an issue. So, but um, if you have a little one, you can relate. They don't have those ideas of it. Oh, that's Dada or Mama's stuff for work, and I should just be careful with it. So let's jump into the 85. The 85 is the premium version of the Evolve 2, like we've said in the past, and it has some really cool features that you will see on this demo. Ori, do we have that queued up? All right, go for it.
All right, so in this test, we're going to use a Jabra Evolve2 85. Okay, so we have some music running in the background right now, and we're going to do a few things. First, we're going to go silent. see if that was picked up. Then we'll go ahead and type on the keyboard as well. Okay, so that's the keyboard test. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do a little whoop-de-doo. We're going to do a little walk around, see if the microphone picks up some of the wind noise from me walking around. Okay, so I'll go silent and we'll see how that goes. Okay, and then this, we'll do a little spinner test. I happen to have one of those chairs that spins, and sometimes you just kind of want to get away from it all as you're on a call. You're wondering, why am I on this webinar? I really should not be on here. I got roped into this meeting, and I really don't want to get out of this meeting, or I can't get out of the meeting. So here we go, and I'm going to go in extreme spinning here. So that's the whoop-de-doo test.
It certainly passes. It certainly passes. I had no idea you were such a comedian.
It's you know, when you're at the end of the day, this is kind of when I did those shots. I did at the end of the day, you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna be myself, and I'm gonna do what. You probably wouldn't do that on a Zoom call if you actually have the camera on, right?
Sure, right.
But given that there was now everybody in the world sees that, but you're probably doing that kind of silly stuff just because the day sometimes just one day
Yeah.
rolls into another, especially with the working situation today. One day, Friday seems like a Monday, Monday seems like a Saturday. Your mind is elsewhere, and you're like, why am I in this call? I don't really want to be here. And the last thing you want to do is have people hear that you're walking around. And in my case, I was just walking around in front of the camera, but you could be walking up and down the steps. And actually, there was something that I wanted to mention that as I was testing, you can't see this because prior to me doing those videos, I was noticing that, and you can't see how I'm set up, but the way I'm set up here, I've got monitors and all kinds of other things. The dongle is almost behind the monitors, and I was having some audio issues when trying to talk. I was just doing a test on the audio, and it wasn't coming through. It was kind of choppy. So I have with me a nice little handy $5 extender. This is a USB extender.
Nice.
So on one
Yeah.
end is a USB, and on the other end, it's got a socket to plug in that dongle. So I went and do what I normally do when I've done these other types of tests with this type of device. I put it right in there, and then now this stands on the side of my monitor, so it gets a line of sight rather than being tucked behind my monitor or on the side where a lot of folks are probably going to plug this USB in. So this was done with my MacBook, and a lot of times folks will reach out to us and say, "Hey, what the heck? This product says 300 feet, 100 feet, or whatever, 50 feet. I can't get 5 feet." And the main reason you can't get that distance is that the headset and the dongle can't see each other from a line of sight perspective. And that this little $5 device or cable will solve a lot of those problems. Now, are you going to be able to go 300 feet or 100 feet? That also depends on what's around you. But as far as I'm concerned, with the ability to use it even nowhere near 30 feet, at 10 feet, 5 feet, if you've got other little things that are in the way between this guy and, let's say, the 65 or the 85, if you got stuff in between, even though you're very close range, you may, and this is not just for the 85 and the Jabra line. We've seen a lot of folks for other headsets, even very expensive headsets. They have the same issue. $5 device will set you free.
Yeah, that's really smart. That's really smart. So when will we start selling those extension cables?
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Probably in Q1 of 2021. We'll have those available for customers, and we'll probably do a big streaming promotion on it, and we're in the process of also testing it out right now, and we're in QC and quality control to make sure the cables that we offer to our customers are top notch. So more to come on that. We'll do some demos around that, showing folks using it or using it without and with.
Great.
So we'll have
Yeah.
more to talk about that.
Those
So
will be
that
interesting. That'll be a great demo. I'm looking forward to that.
absolutely. And, Ori, did we have another? Was that all on the 85, or did we have more? That was all. Oh, okay. We do. So we do have the second part also on the 85. This one also we're going to do a drink test. And the boom is a little bit different on this one, and we'll talk about it on the other side of the video.
And the last test, probably the most important one, especially if you're talking all day long, is the drink test. So some headsets will just flip, some headsets will rotate out, some headsets don't have the ability to do much with it. They're not intelligent. So I'm just going to try to drink with this on like this. Well, look at here. And now you probably didn't hear that because this guy now, when I flip it up, mutes and now brings it back to audio. It also has the ability to do that right over here. Where did it go? It's got that ability. Somebody's got a button. There we go. It's right here. Unmuted. And it tells me so I don't ever mistake myself for being muted when I'm not. So and have an embarrassing situation where you are not muted and you think you're muted and say something inappropriate, or some noise that is really bothersome to the person you're talking to. So as far as the drink test goes, this guy, I give it a passing grade for that.
Another passing grade.
It,
So
it-
where is that button on the boom
right.
on the
So
microphone?
so it's on the microphone. You know what, Ori? Well, what you could do? Um, give us the go to the 85 link so folks could see it, because we have some images on that landing page that'll be a little bit more clear than. Yeah, there we go. So go ahead and zoom in or click on uh, go to that. Yeah, the second to last one. Second to last one. There you go. And go ahead and zoom in over the microphone. See right there, you should be able to see the little. It's a little ridge that's on there that you can touch. There we go, and it's right near the tip. There we go. Thank you, Ori. Um, you
Oh, I
have a
see
little
it.
button that allows you to mute and unmute. So if you didn't want to swing it away and tuck it back in, maybe you are maybe you're talking more through the day rather than listening. You just have that button there, bloop, 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 or you can tuck it back in if you're not going to be talking for a while. So you have the option of either or, and that's really cool, especially if you happen to be somebody that is on your headphones for more than 20 minutes a day. This is something where you can keep the boom where it is without having to do much. You just touch it, boom, mute. Or if you happen to be on the go. And now, what I like about this also, it comes with this is something that one of our viewers pointed out to me. The page that we're on right now also features the charging stand. So most headsets that are wireless and you want to recharge it, you have to drop it into a charger. You can't see mine, but you have to drop it into a charger um, that has pins on it that go into like the USB portion. And if you could, let's see if I can get that up here. Yeah, so you see on the 65,
Yep.
it's got the USB connection, and that's how you charge it. Well, with the 85, it works a little bit different. It allows you to charge it without having to like
Wow.
insert it into anything. You don't have to use the USB socket or port for charging. You have it there for charging, but it comes with, and you're seeing it on our listing here, and it's also available at the bottom if you're watching us on Amazon. It's got a charging stand that you don't need to insert anything into. You just drop it in on this charging stand, and it starts charging the product right away. Really, really cool. So what happens over time with headphones that where you have to, and it's not just the Evolve series, but just about any headphones that have a USB that is the way you charge it, especially if you're charging it a lot, that port sometimes becomes defective, or it gets broken, or it stops charging, which is one of the things that we've seen with across the board, not just Jabra, but every manufacturer that charges in that manner. Whether you have just a cable like you have on the 65, you're using a cable, or it comes, or if you had one of those physical stands that you're inserting it into, sometimes the pins on the stand will fray. So the 85 is a huge step up in terms of improving that experience for the user. So what you're getting is a product that is going to last you long. You're not going to have the issues for charging because the connections or the pins get loose or weak over time. So the 85 is a big step up in that way. Um, the other thing that I go ahead, Dave. You're going to say
I
something?
was just going to say, certainly an evolution on that. And, Rolando, we do have someone that's chatting with us live. They have a question about the Jabra Evolve2 series headsets. It's from Living SS. They're asking, can I answer and mute a call from these? So, do you want to talk about call control on these headsets and how it works?
Absolutely. So let's start with the mobile. On the mobile side, you have two things that you can be using the mobile for. Let's say it's just a regular phone call. Your brother's calling you, and it's the personal call coming through. You have the ability to answer and mute. First of all, answer on the 85 and the 65. You have buttons as well that you can configure on the software to answer and mute. I should say answer and disconnect both on
Yep.
the 85 and 65. You could do that. You can mute on both of these with the booms going up and down. On the 85, you get the ability to mute with the button that's on the boom itself. Now, if you're using either one of these for an app that you're running, let's say you use Ring Central, which is a voice over IP app. It can, I believe, as of June, Ring Central has an integrated capability so that you can also use that button. It's called a multifunction button, and it could also answer and disconnect the call. Now, if you're happen to be getting a voice call from a personal call from your brother or sister or whoever, the phone treats it as a voice call versus a data call. Those two things require different things to happen in order for you to be able to answer and disconnect. On voice calls, um, you can answer also using your Google Assistant if you use Android, or Siri. You could, I believe it says answer or ignore. There's a prompt, and you can say answer. Again, this also has some configurations that you can customize to your liking within the Jabra software. So if you want to use your voice to answer, you can do that. If you want to use the button, you can also do that as well. But to answer and disconnect, if you're using specific apps, some apps are integrated into that function so that you can just simply disconnect and connect, like Teams. So the Teams version of this product is designed to work on Teams with that integrated answer and disconnect capability. So you can do that right from the phone rather than right from the headphones, and not have to touch the computer if you're on the computer, or use the mobile app and maneuver with the mobile app. So Teams version will allow you to do that. There's a couple of other software out there, software apps that are also integrated. If you're watching this on the playback, whether you're watching it live or sometime in the future, check the compatibility guide on our website. Jabra also has a compatibility guide with integrated apps. And when you download, if you're using the PC version, it's called Jabra Direct, and that app will allow you to integrate those call control functions, and they have a list. So it doesn't work across um, all of the different apps out there that are in the world that do these what we call data calls, like a Teams or a Zoom or a Ring Central or some other voice over IP software. But a lot of the big business ones that are out there, like Teams, those are integrated into the Teams version of the Jabra headphones.
And what's important for the viewers to also know, Rolando, is we were talking about the future proofing of these products, and yeah, we're throwing around the word investment. If you've invested into this product and you bought a Microsoft Teams variant, and down the road your organization switches to some to a different application, you didn't throw away the money on that particular product. You have Jabra Direct, which is the control software, and you as the user can change. You can basically tell your headset what application you're using at any time. So
Right.
it's going to follow the way that your organization might adapt and change down the road.
Right, and so if you're seeing this, you get the benefit on this one. You get to see the fact that you have those nice, beautiful, soft ear cups. And I must say that I used it prior to my little one taking them off of there, and they're really comfortable.
Mm.
You can't really tell, but in the image, there's this one actually has the image of the Teams button. It does, and you will see on the listing we talk about Skype. That's Skype for Business, and it's meant to be used across different what we call in the industry UC or Unified Communications type of applications. So the 85 along with the 65, both of them come with that ability. So you can use it across multiple applications. But what you get in the 85 from a hardware perspective is certainly more features. A little bit more comfortable headband. It's a much thicker padding. Just want to show that to you. It's really thick and soft. And you do have something on this 85 that's a little different. Let me just show you. I'm going to rotate. You see how these rotate? These rotate so that they can fit around your head much more comfortably than the 65s. The 65, there's nothing wrong with it, but you're stepping up to something that gives you a little bit more comfort. Again, designed for folks. Maybe you want to listen more than you talk, and that's how kind of I would position this. If you really want a higher quality audio, maybe you do like me, you're listening to Pandora during the in between phone calls or webinars. This gives you a much better audio experience from that standpoint with the larger ear cups, the larger speakers, and you have the active noise canceling. The other things that I would say make this one worthwhile is the fact that you can basically go on a plane with this, and that someday once we start flying around like we used to, this is going to be the thing I'm going to take with me on the plane.
Sure.
As so, so that's the 85. So Dave, I think we exhausted. No, I think we've exhausted everything we were going to talk about today. Did we? We got folks that were sending us questions. We've answered some of those. I just want Ori, if you could put up our Amazon webpage. So if you like this stream, give us a shout out, follow us. You're going to get updates. You're going to get the next stream that's coming to you where we're planning we're going to be on for Cyber Monday as well. We have a landing page on Amazon where folks can come to us, and if they have got questions, our information is there. We also have a nice, beautiful store on Amazon that has a whole variety of headsets that are available for customers to see. Or can you go to the landing page on the Amazon? There we go. So we've got a series of headsets that are there for those. If you're looking for webcams, you're looking for speakerphones, you're looking for other headsets. If you're a Prime member, you will get the Prime badge on the ones that are available and shipped to you that day or the following day, so that you could get those pretty quickly.
Well, that's great. So I think we've talked about everything that we came to talk about today. I am looking forward to getting my hands on a new Jabra Evolve2. Really, they'll all fit my needs. I love them all. I'm not picky. We had a trivia question, I believe, that we wanted to wrap this up with.
Right. So let's roll to that, Ori. All right. What's the parent company of Blue Parrot and Jabra? The answer is the name is called GN Store Nord. That's their official company name. They own both brands. They're based in Copenhagen, Denmark, and GN Store, or what's referred to as GN, as you see like the GN inside of both of those logos. GN went out and acquired both of these companies. The Jabra name, I want to say somewhere around the 2000, maybe 99, 2000, or 2000, somewhere in that that range, they went out and bought a company called Jabra that they eventually incorporated the name into the brand of all of the headsets today that you see. And then I want to say maybe 3 years ago, has it that been, wow, 3, 4 years ago, they went on a company that was called Blue Parrot, and they brought those into the fold as well. The Blue Parrot line is really a well-designed headsets for those folks that are in high noise environments. A lot of truckers, a lot of warehouses. That's their go-to headset. They're also part of the GN or Jabra family as well, and they're all part of the GN Audio division. So that's the story on Jabra and Blue Parrot. And unless we missed anything today, Dave, was there anything else that we wanted to let our audience know?
We support what we sell. Come and chat with us. Engage with us. That was all. I'm glad that we were able to get this done today, Rolando. Thanks for the demos. It was very helpful.
And I look forward to seeing the rest of you on our stream on Cyber Monday. We're going to have some special things going on, so we look forward to that. And if you do have some tips or suggestions that you want to see in future streams, let us know. Get in touch with you. Links are at the bottom below this stream, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, Rolando.
Bye bye.